There's what we say, and then there's what we don't. And often it's the unspoken that holds the most power. Welcome to the Unspoken Edge, a space where hidden dynamics, quiet tensions, and unacknowledged truths are named, held, and turned into grounded action. I'm Rachel Keck, coach, facilitator, and founder of Mosaic Collaborative. I work with visionary leaders who want growth that's sustainable, relational, and real. Here, we explore what's beneath the surface, the energy under leadership, the patterns, resistance, and the truth shaping how we lead and live. In every episode, we'll name what's missing, hold what's tense, and follow the thread to what's real. Because clarity creates traction, and legacy, it's not just what you leave behind, it's how you lead today. Let's begin. Oh my gosh, I am so excited. I was just telling Jill, I'm so excited because I love her energy. I'm excited to have this conversation with her today. I met Jill through LinkedIn. I love when magical things happen virtually. And actually, Jill had magic on her LinkedIn page. And I was like, okay, number one, EOS, number two, magic. There was a multiple things. And so I'll hand it to you. You, Jill, tell everybody who you are, what you want people to know about you.
Well, Rachel, I'm happy to do that. But first, I want to acknowledge you for you and your magic. When I met you, I felt your energy as just so genuine, full of presence, definitely full of curiosity. You are just a coach who has genuine service at the center of your practice. And I love you so much. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for having me on. I'm so excited to be here and get into some stories. Before we get into some stories, I think what I could tell about people with my words is, hi, I'm Jill. I grew up as the daughter of an electrician and the daughter of entrepreneurs. So this creative building of businesses is just absolutely in my blood. So who do I love to support? I love to support entrepreneurs. How do I support them? I am one myself. So I do my work first. And I walk around the planet trying to show up and be magic every day. But other than that, everything else you need to know about me is going to be in this podcast conversation because I'm just a real human being like you and all of our listeners.
I love that. Okay, so being a real human being, this is what we were talking about before we hit record, is that we're living in this time, like even I say it multiple times, and I'm sure you do too. We're not really designed for the way the world is right now. I mean, global news and all the information. So not only I have the information of my little world, I have the global information of what's going on in news. And we're talking about just the volatility, the urgency of everything today and how we want it all. Like, I need to know all the things. I don't need to know I need to know everything that's going on. And how big that is and how outside of actually the realm of how we're designed. I mean, that is just difficult.
Mm-hmm. Well, me and my real humanness, I am designed for positivity. I'm designed for joy. I'm designed for magic, which is just a really fun word that has lots of energy to me that means to me presence, being present. And for me, as a human running around on this beautiful planet, I have this view of the world of I get to choose which world I live in. So absolutely, I can see the urgent world running around me. I can see it, but I choose not to live in it. The other day, I was getting off of an airplane and it happened to be an international flight. So I was getting off of the airplane, and on these international flights, they take you through these hallways that it goes through all of the rest of the airport, but you're windowed in.
Mm.
You can see the rest of the airport, but you can't get out there because they're funneling you towards customs. And I'm like, whoa, this is like walking through wh- the real world, but I'm in my own world. And that's a little bit of how I have this worldview. I can see the urgency. I can see that world, but I choose not to live in it. And it's really useful for my clients. It's really useful for me because I can see the matrix. I can see that urgent world, and then I choose not to live in it.
Mm. Okay, 2 things. Okay, that is such an interesting visual of being, and I know exactly what you're talking about, those hallways where it's like everything is
Yeah.
going, but you're sort of
And just
the
right here.
word yeah, the word that came to mind to me was this detachment. There's a certain
Mm,
level of detachment
mm.
that ultimately gives you choice. 'Cause you mentioned choice was the first thing that you said. You choose how you wanna show up, how you filter in the information. And to me, the detachment allows you more choice.
Wow. Rachel, so I coach coaches, so I can't not acknowledge you for just you've just simplified my story for me. You've dropped in the words that I'm like, oh, that's what it is. It's the detachment and the choice. So thank you. Thank you for showing up in your own coaching magic and just pointing out those beautiful points of my story. This is what coaches do for people. You were just a mirror to me of my own story.
Yeah.
And here's what came up for me as you mirrored my own story to me. I'm also very aware that sometimes I forget that I have a choice.
Yeah.
And I am sucked in. And I'm using that word on purpose. And that I, I don't know if you saw my body. I'm like, I'm sucked in. And I get nervous and anxious, and I'm like, "Ah, what's going on over here?" And I totally get sucked up in it. And those times when I notice that I've got caught up in it and now I'm attached to it, when I have the blessing or the luxury of remembering that I have a choice,
Yeah.
that's the win. Just remembering that I have a choice. And then I give myself a break. I'm like, yeah, yeah, girl, you're surrounded by this world of capitalism and growth at all costs. Like growth at all costs. And so
Mm.
I'm going to live in it sometimes too. Yeah,
Yeah,
sometimes I'm going
that's
to forget that I have a choice.
ugh, I know I talk a lot about nervous systems. I think we
Mm,
probably talked about that together.
mm,
We're all the same and we're not all the same. I mean,
yeah.
our resilience and our capacity for coming back to choice,
Yes.
is so I remember I was working with a small marketing team, um, and one of the people on the team was like, those people that are like, they're not the leader of the team, but
Mhm.
their energy, their woundedness is sort of leading the team. Like
Okay.
that's
Yeah.
what
Either
everybody is
way.
following.
Yeah. Mhm.
I mean,
Mhm.
and you can call it whatever you want. You can call it codependence, you could call it
Mm.
narcissism, you can call
Yep.
it you can call it toxic. I don't
Whatever.
whatever. It doesn't matter. The reality is the behaviors. Somebody has a lot of unprocessed, there's some energetic
Mm.
things going on, and everybody is like walking around like very careful with that energy, and it's leading the team. And at the time, my best friend was she was becoming a marriage family therapist. And I called her and I was like, okay, this is happening. I don't know. I hadn't done anything about trauma informed
Mm.
cultures or anything yet.
Mhm.
And I was like, I'm not sure exactly what to do here. And her advice to me was give her as many choices as you can. And I was like, "Oh," because that was not my instinct was to just, like, fix it
Mm.
or make it certain for her. 'Cause, I mean, that's I think, you know, the some of that attachment energy that we get is a need for certainty, no unknown. I need everything to be clear. I need more policies. I need more, but actually what we need is choice. And when
Mm,
I started giving choices now when you're in that dysregulated place, like that attachment place, there's some fear, there's like all sorts of things going on there. The choice is sort of disruptive, and sometimes you're like a deer in headlight when you get the choice and you're like, "Oh my
yeah.
god, I have no idea." But to trust the space, I mean, we know this in coaching sessions and coaching spaces of like, okay, you have to allow some space for the person to
Mm,
catch up with the choice. Like we're not rushing. It's
mm,
not a race.
mm,
You're like you said, the
mm.
urgency is a lot of times an illusion. It's not the reality.
That's right. Yes. It's what world are we choosing to live in? And as coaches, oh gosh, that's so beautiful, Rachel. You just gave it, Rachel, you gave us a tool. Uh,
Mm.
um, Clearly, I'm going to share this podcast episode with my coaching magic community for sure. And when they hear this, it's like, it's a tool. It's a tool. Giving choice is that pattern interrupt and then giving space, providing, creating the space for that. So thank you for boiling all of that down into a tool for sure. And then also it reminds me of children.
Mm.
My first job was a preschool teacher.
Oh my goodness.
But I like to say my first job was a preschool teacher because it sounds very fancy. When really, in reality, I was 8 years old. I was hired I thought I
Mhm.
was a preschool teacher.
Yeah.
I was hired by my parents, probably as a tax write-off, to come, sweep the floors and lay out the snacks. We owned childcare centers, and if I learned one thing from all of the child development that I learned while I was still a child, I mean, that's pretty crazy, is we just give choices. That's how you manage anything is you give choices. You give choices, you give choices.
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
do you want the red shoes or the blue shoes? But it wasn't, do you wanna wear shoes or not? It's,
Yeah.
do you wanna wear the red shoes or the blue shoes? And
Yeah.
sometimes I will say to my leadership teams, especially when they're being unruly, I'll say, "Hey, you remember I was a preschool teacher, right?" Preschool teacher, leadership team of adults, not much difference.
It's not pretty
We just
close.
can we can afford more expensive snacks.
Yeah, it is. And I think the third part of that, I mean, the choice, the space, and then I think we all have our different little nuances and
Mhm,
our different preferences and different personalities. And to allow the choice without overcorrecting or over functioning with it, to really get curious about the choice.
mhm,
You know, I do it in the workplace culture work that I've done. A lot of times I will say if you truly listen to people and let them give their feedback and really listen to it and be curious about it, you can go any direction you want. They will
mm,
follow you. I
mm,
it's n- People are pretty reasonable if they feel like you've heard them out. You've acknowledged their position,
mhm,
then most people can be pretty flexible. I mean, we have differing needs of like details and things like that, but allowing the choice and being curious about the choice. God, it's just
mm.
I mean, talk about magic.
Yet it does feel quite simple, and uh there's a song that I love, and, it says something like, "Why are you sitting around? Did you think it would be easy? If it were easy, everyone would be doing it too."
Yeah.
So here you and I, Rachel, we're unpacking this. We see it. It's so simple. We see it in our coaching. And then what is it? Why don't more people listen? What are the resistances to listening? I would like to look at me now. I'm trying to interview you.
Love that.
Did you see that? I just turned it around.
You
I
did.
would love to, but I'm
She's such a
curious.
coach.
Well, I'm
Yeah.
just curious, like unpacking those resistances because we can say it all day long, but
And that is the work. I mean, I think I know so much of what you do is really helping coaches root in their own work first. You said it in
Mm,
your beginning.
mhm.
It's me. I do my work first, and then I do work with other people. And I think that that inner work of what is my resistance to listening
Mm,
is the because it's not I mean, yeah, that we have some human we're built for assumptions, we're built for survival, we're built for these things that are sort of counter to some of the ways, like idealistic ways we want to be. But everybody has a different the resistance can be slightly different.
yeah. And it's the resistance that helps us build it. I
Yes.
coach coaches all the time, and a lot of times they bring me their mistakes. They'll say, "Oh, here's what didn't work, and here's what didn't work." And if they didn't bring those to me, then we don't have the pain of learning from it and dissecting it. So,
Yeah.
yes, lots of different resistances. That's what builds us are the
It's
resistances.
true.
We don't want to get rid of them, but part of it is just acknowledging that we have a resistance, that there
Yeah.
is a wall, there's something pushing there. Hmm.
Well, and reframing, what one of the things I love to do with groups is I do this little bit about listening that is, well, let's do it now. So I
Okay.
do, first off, how many words per minute do you think we speak on average?
So many. Okay,
Yeah.
111.
Ooh, that's a great guess. Okay, so people will guess 100, they'll guess like 50 or 300. I mean, but what I have read is like 150 to 250 words per minute. Lots of things play into that. Um, then my next question is how many words per minute do you think our brains can comprehend?
Words per minute. See, look at me trying to comprehend that right now. Words per minute, 22.
I love that. And that is typical. Most people guess lower. And some people, it's interesting how some people like they're like, how many words can I type a minute? So I must be able to hear. I mean, people have all sorts of ways of coming to their guess, but most people guess less. Every once in a while, somebody guesses way more. The reality is we can understand 2 times the words that people are actually saying. So if you're speaking 150 to 250 words, my brain is a sponge and it's looking for double that not to and that's just words. I'm not talking about sensory cues inside of us and outside of us and nonverbal. So listening is actually an act of focus. That's why it's hard. It's not because we're not getting enough information. It is we can't stay with something because our
Mm.
brains are a sponge and we need way more than what you're giving. And so when we talk about the barrier to listening well, we have to know what we're listening through because our brains need a lot more than one person is. So there's almost like it's almost, Jill, like this counterintuitive thing about we're not really built for global news, but also our brains are built for a lot of information.
Oh, okay. I would like to get curious about one word. One, I want to see what you know about this or how you feel about this. When I heard your question,
Hmm.
you said, this is how I heard it.
Hmm.
How much can our brains comprehend? I was really focused on that word, comprehend, like I'm really focused, I'm really got it. And then now, as I'm hearing this again, my brain is turning this word into absorb. It
Mm.
makes perfect sense to me that we are absorbing, oh, 2 times the words. Plus, I'm absorbing how bright that light is and that piece of art over there and the noise that went on over there. And does my computer have battery? I'm
Yeah.
absorbing all of that.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of stuff for
It
a
is.
nervous system.
Mm-hmm. And the
Can't handle.
awareness of that gap, I mean, the awareness of which is why will listen to podcasts at 1.5 speed, that things are at the end of pharmaceutical commercials, things are sped up because our brains are we're absorbing, like, we know what you're saying. Yeah, now are we d is it a deep listening? No, but our brain to deeply listen is an exercise of focus. And
Yes.
that takes a lot of muscle building.
Yeah. Yeah. Rachel, I'm also curious when you are finished with a day of coaching and you go home and you're like, decompressing and you're reflecting and all of that. Um, it's an energetic um it's an energetic load to stay focused and listen to the whole room, listen to the whole team. I've even had teams
Mm.
that, it's like 3:30 or 4 o'clock, and we've been working on some deep focused work. And they're like, why am I hungry? Why am I tired
Yeah.
of just been sitting all day? Oh no, you've been listening all day. We've been
Yeah.
having one conversation in the room. Um, do you find something similar
Yeah, that gives me chills actually,
in
you
the
saying
focus?
that,
Mm,
because there is such an energetic pull to listening well and staying with focus. There's neurodivergence and there's lots of things that that's why I'm saying there's lots of resistance to focus and listening. It's just what is the resistance you're working with, so that you
mm,
can focus because there's so much value in that. I think the quote that I brought up was from Esther Hicks, and saying like, I want it all, but I just want it a little bit at a time, just a little bit at a time. When I think about leaders and the amount that they're absorbing, but yet they have to focus on what is I mean, even we talk about visionaries and integrators, right? We
mm,
both work with this sort of
mhm,
pairing where you've got people that are having to absorb a lot of stuff going on, but also focus on the most important things and
mm,
stay with it and trust it. I think one of the things when we at the very beginning when you were talking about the detachment and choice, you began to talk about trust and flow. And know, okay, I am not going to be able to handle all these details. I I can absorb everything that's going on, but I cannot manage everything that's going on. I can handle little bits of it at a time, and it's as a leader, it's discernment about which are the things to handle.
mm,
What capacity do I have energetically to
mm,
be focused and
mhm,
available
mhm,
and honest with that? That I need little bits at a time.
mhm. This nervous system we've been talking about and the capacity for choice. You said something a little bit about the capacity for coming back to choice. Oh, I just love that phrase. I'm going to borrow it. I'm going to put Rachel's name on it. This capacity for coming back to choice. There's times where I'll be coaching a leader and they're, frustrated with some of their people. And one of the questions I'll ask is, when is the last time you had a vacation, a
Yeah.
free day? How much sleep are you getting? How much sleep are they getting? If they call me at 9 o'clock at night, I'm like, could we talk about this in the morning? Your assignment is to go to bed. And that sometimes a coach's superpower is getting their client to slow down
Yeah.
and just slow down. There's times when they come to me with an issue and I will literally say, "Are you just tired? How about a nap?" Mhm. Everything looks better on the other side of a nap. And I've gotten yelled at lots. Like, "That is the most ridiculous thing. Why in the world you don't care? You're not smart at all." And I'm like, "Okay, let's have a nap and then we'll talk about it." And it
Yes.
works. And it
Yes.
works. This slowing
Yeah.
down, the choice. I worked with a team yesterday. I've been working with them for 10 years, and they had a major breakthrough. And after major breakthrough, it was really great. And after the session, one of the leaders said, "But why did it take us so long to see this breakthrough?" I'm
Mm.
like, "Oh, you know what? I don't want all of I want to know it all, but I don't want all the breakthroughs at the same time. I don't have capacity to absorb or to process all of those breakthroughs. So this was the breakthrough that you got today. And it's all in the right time and all in the right design. Businesses are a game. It, our businesses are a game where we as humans can transform and we open just one little gift at a time. We open one little power pack at a time and go, here's a new tool and here's a new insight. And if we were to do it at too rapid of a speed, then we burn out.
Yeah.
We burn
Yeah.
out. We burn
That's
out.
right.
We
Yeah.
gotta go slow in this world of urgency. We gotta go slow.
Yeah. Slowness is so critical and, the resistance again to focus. If we have not built some capacity around slowing down, I mean, it just that. I know when somebody says you need a nap to me, or maybe you need to eat something, I do not appreciate that feedback in the moment. And I talk about a deep breath. Like when
Yes,
somebody
or a
says take a
breath.
deep breath,
Mhm.
that's usually a really good suggestion, but we really don't like it when it's right for us in the
Yeah.
moment.
Yeah. Sometimes that's where sitting with a powerful coach can help.
Yes. But what I love about how you described this is over time, like 10
Yeah.
years to get to this breakthrough. It just speaks to the journey. We're never there, wherever there is.
Wherever
There
there is no there there.
there is no there. There's just right now. That's really all
Yep.
there is. We only have now. There's always going to be something out there we don't know.
Mm,
I think about my kids, Jill. One of the things I've said lately is if they can have good navigation skills, I feel like my parenting has been
mm,
successful.
mm. What a
Because
gift.
what else do we have? Like everything is changing. It's we don't know exactly where things are going. We can have goals and outcomes, and we do. We need the clarity of those frameworks. And we also need to know that there's limitations to that.
That things are gonna change. Yeah,
Yes.
we're gonna have detours. We're gonna have
Yes.
mistakes.
Yes.
Yeah. I have one of my coaches says, "There are no detours. This is the way. This is the path. There are no detours." I'm like, "Oh, we're taking a detour today." Nope. This is the way. Why do we know it's the way? Because it's happening.
That's right. It's
Because
true.
it's here. It's
It's
here.
true. It's true. Yeah, I always have felt like we get to the same place. Whatever way we take, we're getting to the same place.
That's
So, it's just what do we which I think about culture too, and I think about that when coaching people is they know where they're wanting to go. I'm just really holding the space, like some safe space for them to wrestle and figure that out. But in workplace culture too, there's no right culture. There
mm-mm.
but the clarity of the culture that we're creating, and the honesty and integrity of it is what's important. Like,
Hmm. Yeah, the intentionality of it. I sometimes will say every company has a culture because this is when the companies will come and say, "We want to build a culture. We want to build a." I'm like, "Oh, you already have a culture.
yeah, yeah,
What is it? It could be the blame and shame culture. It could be the organized chaos culture. It could be like a culture I built once. The culture was nothing happens until Jill says so. How
that can
about
be
that?
fun.
Yeah. But building an intentional culture, okay, let's do that. Who
Yeah,
are we? Who are we at our best? Let's intentionally be that more. And we will attract those people to us with the intention and we will repel the people who do not want to come play this game with us. They want to play a different game. Cool. Everybody gets to play their own game.
yeah, yeah. And again, trusting the flow. I totally believe that there are no detours. You do attract what you need, and sometimes it feels really hard at the time, like when somebody says take a breath or take a nap, but you are attracting the information that you need because you can't help it. You can't help it to do that. I mean,
Mhm.
what is there anything that we have not talked about, any question we've not asked before we wrap this up?
Well, all of the questions,
We
except
need a million more.
you and I, Rachel, like to take things in just little bite-sized chunks. We want to know all the answers, but just one at a time. Because if we knew everything, what did we say? If we knew everything, then life would be boring.
And here's a final little tool.
Cool.
If you find yourself with only a chunk, if you find yourself with a piece of the information, but not all that you're needing, these are
Mm.
for my small chunk friends who need all the details and they're freaking out if they don't have all the details. That circles back to the inner work that you need to do with slowness because you are never going to know. Sometimes you can never know enough. I mean, and to be okay with that bit, whatever work it is that you need to do. I mean, I could name it. I mean, we both could list like 5-page document of ideas that you could do to help yourself be okay with the little bit that you're getting right now. But if you stop, I mean, we both hold space for that. You
Mhm.
get into a container where you can wrestle with your own inner work around why this little bit is not enough.
Mm.
So,
That sounds like a beautiful invitation to do our own work.
yes. Okay, Jill, tell everybody how they can find you, what they can join, how if they're like, we need Jill's magic in our lives.
So you can find me at coachingmagic.com. That's easy. Or Jill at jillyoung.com. That's fun. LinkedIn is another really great place to get me. I'm on Instagram at Jill in Texas.
Mm,
And I would love to connect. One of my favorite things to do is to co create fun projects. So that might be fun. I also love to coach coaches. So if you're a coach, I have really fun programs for coaches where we do our work in community. We do our work with each other because coaching can be isolating if we let it be, but we grow and heal and transform in community over here at Coaching Magic.
beautiful. Thank you. Thank
Aw.
you for connecting with me and exchanging beautiful energy.
Rachel, this was so much fun. So much fun. Let's do it again.
Good deal.
So
Our guests bring such clarity and depth. If you want to explore more of their work, you'll find links in the show notes. And thank you, listener, for joining me on the Unspoken Edge, the place where we name what's missing so you can lead from what matters. If something resonated with you today, share this episode with a friend or a colleague. Leave a review or subscribe so you don't miss what's next. And if you're navigating unseen tensions in your leadership or culture, let's connect. You'll find me at mosaiccollaborative.com because legacy isn't a final chapter, it's what you live into, one conversation at a time.